You're listening to the Weekend Sport Podcast with Jason Pine from News Talk ZB.
Before this podcast kicks off, let's talk about goals. The Greatest Goal is a native tree crowdfunding campaign, leaving a legacy for Aotearoa New Zealand as co-hosts of the FIFA Women's World Cup 2023. Visit treesthatcount.co.nz to donate a native tree for a brighter future.
Football Fever with News Talk ZB's voice of football, Jason Pine and Bonnie Jansen with Trees That Count. Donate a native tree and help us score the greatest goal.
Welcome into Football Fever, your daily World Cup podcast at the start of a very exciting Day 6 at the FIFA Women's World Cup. I'm Jason Pine, Bonnie Jansen here as always as well. New Zealand play their second pool game this afternoon against the Philippines in Wellington, 5:30. Kickoff, can't get here fast enough, Bonnie.
Oh, it's game day, Piney. We're back here again. I'm so excited. And let's go 2 from 2.
Let's hope they can do that. All right, we'll get to that game in a second. Let's look back at Day 5, though, of the tournament. Starting at Eden Park in Auckland, Group G action last night. 31,000 turning up to watch Italy play Argentina. Hugely competitive game between two football-mad nations. Italy winning it 1-0. The oldest player in their squad, Cristiana Girardi, coming off the bench in the 84th minute, scores a goal in the 87th in her 104th international. This was probably the most intense game I've seen at this tournament. 36 fouls and 6 cards.
Yeah, absolutely it was. And that's what we expected from these two teams, to put on a show and it be pretty even between the two teams. But yeah, Italy came away with it in the end, and it was an exciting match. Yeah,
pretty great performance from Argentina. They held Italy out until right near the end. Italy did have first half goals by Ariana Caruso and Valentina Giacinti, ruled out for offside. Not too many shots in this game. In fact, the second fewest of any game at the World Cup. Italy had 12 shots to Argentina's 5. But great start for Italy. They'll play Sweden on Saturday night in Wellington. This is a great group, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a great group, and Argentina put up a strong performance being the lower ranked team last night, so they're definitely not down and out and should, use that as motivation to keep going.
To Group H, Germany against Morocco, biggest win of the tournament so far. Germany 6, Morocco 0 in Melbourne. Very, very comfortable for world number 2 Germany against Morocco, playing in their first World Cup, first game ever of women's football between these two nations. Alexandra Popp scoring the first couple of goals. This was just one-way traffic, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was the statement match that USA and England were hoping for, and good on Germany for picking up after their loss to Zambia not long ago and turning it around and showing why they're here and that they're going to be going deep into the tournament.
Morocco, they were dangerous here and there, but just weren't that clinical in front of goal. In fact, I read a stat, they haven't scored a goal now in their last 6 games. So getting the ball in the back of the net's been a problem for Morocco. Did you see Alexandra Popp's goal celebration with the phone up to her ear? Did you see that?
No, I didn't. I missed it, but that's pretty cool. Alexandra Popp was always going to be a player to watch at this tournament. That's crack up.
Apparently the explanation for it is you won't remember this, you're far too young, but there was a movie in the 80s called E.T. about a extraterrestrial.
Oh, I remember that movie, Piney.
There
Come
you go.
on.
and you probably remember E.T. phone home. So that's what she said afterwards. I phone home because we're a long way from home. It's not just those who sit in front of the TV, also for the people who can't be with us anymore and who are very important to me, and it shows what I think of them. So E.T. phone home whenever Alexandra Popp scores a goal, which there could be a few more of after last night.
Oh, that's great. What a celebration. I'm looking forward to more goal celebrations. I am
too, yeah. And unique ones as well, rather than just doing the Ronaldo or something like that. Although when you score a goal, I think you're entitled to do whatever you want. Germany have now won all 6 games against African teams at the World Cup, scoring 28 goals and conceding none in those games.
Football Fever with Jason Pine and Bonnie Jansen with Trees That Count. Donate a native tree and help us score the greatest goal.
Let's go to last night's third game in Adelaide. Group F, Brazil 4, Panama 0. They often say World Cups don't start properly until you see the famous yellow shirt of Brazil. My goodness, did they put on a show last night?
Did we see the goal of the tournament, Piney?
I think so. I think what a flowing, sublime move. You're talking about the one that finished with Ari Borges, who got a hat-trick, backheeling it to Dabina and the assured finish. Man, I watched that goal about 10 times this morning.
Yeah, it was pretty exciting. It was very much a Brazil goal, and I just love a team goal, you know. It was super exciting. Yeah,
it was just if you haven't had the chance to watch this, just get online and have a look at it. Ari Borges scoring a hat-trick, the first one of the tournament so far, fourth Brazilian to score a hat-trick at the World Cup, and the youngest as well. I talked about the Morocco-Germany game being one-sided. What about this? Brazil had 73% possession, 32 shots to Panama's 6. Brazil's goalkeeper, Bonnie, had 2 touches in the first half.
Wow.
2 touches.
That's insane. But these are the games that, you know, England and USA and France as well couldn't pull off. And Brazil and Germany, here they are on, what was it, day 5, making these statement performances.
Yeah, it was a statement. And I think unlike some of those other debutantes who have put up a good fight, the likes of Jamaica, Haiti and others, Panama, I don't know, they look pretty limited. They were overrun, easily dispossessed, didn't really have much going on in the attacking third. But you are playing Brazil, you know, at your first World Cup. It's got to be intimidating. And then right at the end, they bring Marta off the bench, Brazil. She didn't get her goal though, Bonnie, so she's still waiting for that record.
We're still waiting for that. That's all right. It'll come.
Yeah, her 6th World Cup. If she scores in it, as Bonnie mentioned yesterday, becomes the first player to score at 6 World Cups, male or female. Brazil maintain their perfect record of winning all 9 of their opening games at Women's World Cups. They play France in Brisbane on Saturday night. Brazil-France. What about it?
Oh, that'll be so exciting. I think I'm actually in Brisbane that night. I'm not going to the game, but it'll be an exciting game to watch. It's, 2 of the best footballing nations in the world right there.
Absolutely. And plenty of goals on day 5 at this Football World Cup.
Football Fever Podcast with trees that count. Donate a native tree and help us score the greatest goal.
While this podcast is taking a halftime break, let's talk about the greatest goal. A crowdfunding campaign leaving a legacy for Aotearoa New Zealand as co-host of the FIFA Women's World Cup 2023 by asking fans to donate a native tree. Each native tree costs just $10, and whether you donate one or many, you'll be contributing to amazing restoration projects across Aotearoa. Visit treesthatcount.co.nz to donate a native tree and help us score the greatest goal. Looks like they're ready to start the second half.
Football Fever with Jason Pine and Bonnie Jansen with trees that count. Donate a native tree and help us score the greatest goal.
So the final 2 of the 32 sides who have yet to play at the tournament take to the field this afternoon in the first game, Group H. It's in Sydney from 2 o'clock this afternoon. Colombia against Korea Republic. But really, we're just using that as a bridge to get to 5:30, aren't we? New Zealand, Philippines in Wellington. How optimistic should New Zealand fans feel about back-to-back wins, Bonnie?
I'm feeling optimistic and I'm a big fan. So I guess, I just hope they do it. And Wellington's the perfect place to go to from 2. It's the home of football, as we like to call it in New Zealand, and they're going to have a huge crowd behind them. And you said the weather's nice, so everything's playing ball for them. I just hope the Ferns can too.
Yeah, I'm sitting about a kilometre away from Wellington Regional Stadium, looking at the window here, and it is looking pretty nice compared to the games we've had in Wellington so far, which have been played in various degrees of torrential rain and high winds. Tonight is looking good for a 5:30 kickoff. As far as personnel are concerned, I can't see that Jitka Klimkova will be too motivated to change the 11, but do you think they might be a bit more attacking tonight, given the fact that they're up against the Philippines, a side ranked 20 places lower than them in the world?
Well, they should be. And as you said, I don't think they will change that starting lineup. They're finally starting to gel and click, which we haven't seen the Ferns do in a long time. However, they need to be clinical in transition and control the game. There's no reason they can't against a side like the Philippines. And the counter-attack and just sending the ball long won't be shouldn't be an option tonight. We should be controlling the game from start to finish.
Yeah, do you think it'll be a bit more like what we saw from New Zealand against Vietnam and Napier about 10 days before the tournament started, that it's likely that New Zealand will have the lion's share of possession and look to create a lot more? I mean, against Norway, they did what they had to do. They played well, but Norway are 12th in the world. The Philippines are 46th. That'll be a different game plan tonight, won't it?
True, yeah. It's going to be a testament to see where the Ferns actually are. That Vietnam game, we should have probably scored a few more. And considering the shots we had on goal against Norway, we scored one and we scored a banger, but were we as clinical as we could have been in front of net? Probably not. So tonight it's going to be a really important test to see where we're actually at. In terms of finishing and whether that's improved after their 9 weeks of training, because we can't ignore the fact that the last 12 months for the Ferns, there's been a bit of a goal drought, so.
Yeah, but you talked about peaking at the right time on the podcast yesterday, and that's exactly what's happening. Just on the Philippines, they're coached by Alan Stachich, who is well known to us down this side of the world. He's an Australian, coached the Central Coast Mariners for a while, was in charge of the Australian women's national team, now in charge of the Philippines. Went along to their pre-game press conference yesterday at the stadium, and he said, look, we're here to crash the party. We know this is a big occasion for New Zealand football, but we're here to crash this party. We don't have to play against 35,000 fans. We only have to play against the 11 on the field. Any chance that Philippines crash the party?
Absolutely, and I just love that banter from the Philippines coach. That's great. But absolutely they could, and we only beat the Philippines just 2-1 last year, and there's no reason they won't come out fighting for a win tonight, or they'll put up a good fight, and the Ferns definitely can't go in too complacent, and I don't think they will be at all. Yeah,
I looked at that game last year though, and the Philippines were ahead 1-0, and then a penalty in the 70th from Michaela Moore, who's not in the squad of course, and then Ali Riley got the winner, and it's a different kettle of fish. I remember watching that game, and there's nobody there. It's played in the United States. There's nothing on the game. Surely with the weight of the nation behind them tonight, New Zealand should be too good, shouldn't they? They know that if they win tonight and Norway don't beat Switzerland, that New Zealand are into the knockout stages with a game to spare. There's every motivation tonight, surely.
Oh, there is, and as you say there, we've got a team that's so strong, the Football Ferns. Yitka said everyone's available for selection, despite Michaela Foster being a little bit injured yesterday at training. But yeah, everything's there, but again, we should not be too complacent, and I doubt we are, and I hope we're not, and yeah, we can't be relying on other teams' results to get us through the group stage. Yeah,
just on Michaela Foster, she trained separately from the rest of the playing group yesterday at Newtown Park in Wellington. She had her thigh or a hamstring strapped up. Yeah, Yitka said at the press conference everyone's available. I don't think they'll use Mickey Foster if they don't have to tonight. There might be bigger games ahead. We didn't even see her come off the bench against Norway, so it may be that she sits this one out and just you never know with hamstrings, you think you're okay, and then you get out there and all of a sudden you tweak it on what could be a chilly night. So yeah, maybe you just leave that off to one side. Malia Steinmetz was up before the media last night as well. She's a absolute firecracker. I love Malia Steinmetz, and she was asked about the crowd at Eden Park. 43,000, massive occasion, and she said actually it was calming playing in front of that many people. She goes, all I felt the whole night was calm. What a star.
I love it. That's great. And bring it on again tonight.
Absolutely. Huge crowd expected. And then after that game finishes, we get to watch Switzerland against Norway in Hamilton tonight. So just to repeat that equation, if New Zealand were to beat the Philippines tonight and Norway don't beat Switzerland, then New Zealand are into the round of 16, guaranteed, even before they play their final game against Switzerland down in Dunedin on Sunday. Just to finish, 1.5 million tickets have now been sold for this Women's World Cup. That was the pre-tournament target, and it's only day 6. So already 1.5 million tickets sold. The average attendance across the first half a dozen days, over 30,000, and over 117,000 fans have paid a visit to one of the fan festivals, either here in New Zealand or across in Australia. This World Cup's capturing the imagination, Bonnie.
Yeah, that just there, Piney, gave me goosebumps. It's so cool, and it's so surreal that it's happening right on our doorstep. And I'm just, even if all it took was the Ferns to win a game to get more people behind it here in New Zealand, I'm so happy, and hopefully it can continue to grow throughout the tournament.
Hope you get through to 5:30, okay? You're just going to start pacing around shortly, are you?
Yeah, well, I kind of forgot that game is on beforehand, so I'm just going to park up in front of the TV from 2 o'clock. I'm not down in Wellington, which is a shame, but yeah, I'll be the biggest fan up in Auckland.
Fantastic. Great to see you as always, Bonnie. Enjoy the game. Enjoy the games, plural. Look forward to more tomorrow. A fresh episode of Football Fever drops for you with a huge review of what happens tonight in Wellington for you. That fresh episode, around about lunchtime tomorrow, depending on our excitement levels and how long it takes us to calm down to get the podcast going. We'll see you tomorrow.
In this post-match review, let's score the greatest goal by donating a native tree to leave a legacy for Aotearoa New Zealand as co-hosts of the FIFA Women's World Cup 2023. Visit treesthatcount.co.nz to donate a native tree for a brighter future.
The Football Fever Podcast with Jason Pine and Bonnie Jansen with Trees That Count. Donate a native tree and help us score the greatest goal. For more from Weekend Sport with Jason Pine, listen live to News Talk ZB weekends from midday or follow the podcast on iHeartRadio.